Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So, I'd like to talk to you about my reaction to the LFGY first distribution because I'm kind of like so, but it could be just because, well, last night it was -1 degree outside, and my dog, starting at 2 in the morning, decided that every half an hour they would bother me to get up and out of the house. And so I just did not sleep well last night. So I might just be tired, and that's affecting my mood. But when I first looked at the distribution email, I was like, what does 71 cents even mean, or 74 cents? And it's just so hard to tell when, like, it starts at $50. Like, is this even a good price? And this is around a 70% distribution, so it's not bad. It's not $5, and it's not an entire dollar, but maybe YMAX is learning its lesson and just holding something back, and that way, this is 25 cents less than a dollar for it to have to rise up to in order to recover the distribution. So, like, it's fine, but here's where I am mentally. So, if we have a matrix over here, and we say, like, okay, so JEPI, they have the S&P 500, and only 20% of the portfolio is in covered calls. So in the down market, it actually outperforms, but in up market, it gives you a better dividend than SEHD. So if you need income, you have a low risk tolerance, then JEPI's pretty good. And then we have like Misty, which has basically the highest yield, but I don't view it as a high risk, mostly because I don't believe MicroStrategy is going out of business in the next 5 to 10 years. I really think that its value is going to go up in that time period. And basically the only kind of news that could really wreck MicroStrategy is the same thing that's any single stock ETF, which is basically like, someone stole the hard drive that had all the MicroStrategy Bitcoin on it. And then MicroStrategy's no more, and then it's gone. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I think that, Michael Saylor is making the moves that he needs in order to have MicroStrategy be relevant for a very long time. So, high yield has single stock risks associated with it, and it might be volatile. It might go up and down, and there might be the winter where it doesn't have 100% yield anymore, but I believe in Misty. But then you have things like Alti, which is basically the only other 100% yielder, but they're unhinged, and they invest in things based off of high IV and not with the fundamentals being strong in the stock. Like, unless it's about Bitcoin, you really don't get that high of an IV with stuff that, unless it's a leveraged version, like, there has to be something wrong or something happening for it to have that much IV. So Alti, I think, is high yield, high risk. But then you have something like SFOL. And SFOL pays around 17%. So it's a low yield, but it's also like, it's more risky than JEPI, but it's good. And it's actually a very complicated fund, and it's supposed to do really well in a lot of situations. The reason why I got out of it was because I didn't understand how it would react when there was a fear spike in the market. And I wanted something to hedge against all of these crazy things that I was doing. And I didn't realize that it would just move in the same direction, which doesn't work as a hedge. But SVOL is really good. And it pays more than JEPI. But, then we have SPY-T, which is, it targets 20%, and it's pretty good. But it just is slightly higher risk, just slightly more yield. And then you have like XETE, which, they do cover calls. It's 0 day to expiration. We all love it. And, it is the market. If I can move it, hold on, sorry. So it has like a 30-ish% yield. And so we're seeing how we have these like really high yielding, and then we have this ladder of lower risk, lower reward. So then AIPI, I think, is actually a higher risk than SPY-T, but it also pays more. And XEDTE actually, it pays more than AIPI. So we're going to do something like that. So like AIPI, because it's just artificial intelligence, and I'm not that familiar with that sector. For me, it's like, it's a higher risk, but it's not like ulti risky. So that leaves us with the 5E and LFGY. And if you look at yield might, where is it? Okay, so we have feet over here. So if you put, this was $500 into it, for feet, you would have had $22.53. And that's less than YBit and Tesla. But this is based off of one single stock, and this is Bitcoin, and one single stock, and this is Tesla. So in this group in particular, I would think that feet and 5E would actually be the best investments, and maybe BTCI, which is not YMAX, it's actually an EOS fund, but that's also just Bitcoin. Anyways, 5E pays less because it has less of YMAX in its fund, but I'm not angry at it because that's what the fund's supposed to do. Over time, if you buy it now, this should appreciate in value more. So if both of these pay a 60% yield, then over time, if your cost basis, when you get it, like if you get in sooner, you'll be getting more money from 5E than if you had just put it into feet from the beginning. So, and that's just how capital appreciation works. So for me, 5E is, it pays more than XETE, and I wouldn't say it's not, because it has 5 of the most momentum YMAX ETFs, so it's a basket of stocks, and so it's probably less risky than Misty, but it has a higher yield than XDT. So it leaves us with LFGY. And I was just hoping that it would be like a 90% distribution, like we would be over here, and since it's crypto, so it has a high risk, but so I think it's going to be riskier than just being in Misty. Well, that doesn't even make sense. From a non-SQL stock perspective, it's safer than Misty, but I trust MicroStrategy more than like Hut and Riot. So I was hoping it would be like over here where like it's 100% distribution, so we don't have to be an ulti anymore. But it's actually closer to like here. I guess in my like rudimentary thinking, and it's just, I know that I meant to have YMAX on here. So like, yes, you would be getting more money if you had invested in LFGY than YMAX, but YMAX has all of it's more of an index. I mean, it's not an index, but it's a fund of funds that has all of the funds within YieldMax. So it has a bigger basket of stocks. So unless there's a really wide difference between LFGY, YMAX might wind up being the one to beat. And YMAG has shown to have higher total returns than YMAX in these current conditions. There are conditions where YMAG would do worse than YMAX, which is basically if this year the MAG 7 stagnates and doesn't do as well as everything else, then that would be a argument for YMAX. So, I mean, this is literally its first distribution, so I'm not going to pass judgment off on LFGY. You just won't see me all of a sudden having 1,000 shares of LFGY the next time we do a portfolio review. So, like, I like crypto, I like Bitcoin, I just am worried because I know that the crypto winter is coming. I know there's going to be a big run up, or at least if the past indicates what's happening in the future and it holds to the same pattern it's been doing since its inception, there's going to be a run up and then there's going to be the winter. So I don't want to have a ton of crypto through Misty exposure. So just like for me in general, maybe I shouldn't be getting into LFGY a lot right now. I think that maybe this time next year I'll look more into it because I do like weekly pairs. I think that continuing to invest into XETE and QDTE will pay off in the future in 3 to 4 years. We'll start seeing the big differences over time. And yeah, I just don't know if the increased risk that's associated with LFGY is worth investing in that versus YMAX for now, because LFGY just does not have any kind of track record for us to make any kind of decision. So I might buy like one share every week just so that I can feel like I'm doing something, but it's anyways, thank you for letting me walk through my thought process on this. I know that MicroStrategy is not a safe stock, but I do believe in Bitcoin, and now that I've learned more about Michael Saylor, I do have faith in his company. So I know that my entire portfolio is really out of balance, but at this point it is what it is, and I've made peace with it. So, anyways, I've been talking, this is YieldMine. I made this, I added LFGY and Feet and 5e today, and did all of the updates for all the weeklies. And like, if you go into the details, you can see the name of the fund, and it takes you to the website so you can get more information. And since there's only been one distribution, all of these averages will be the same. So in 12 months, we should have an accurate average over the last 12 months in the year to date in all time. So you can also change the stock price if I haven't updated it in a while. and you can change the dividend amount as well. So today in Financial Philharmonics, and this is also self-promotion, I released Don't Lose Your Grip, which is another Buy the Dip song. We're going to make an album of that really soon, and just encouraging you, and don't be afraid in the dip and just buy it and you'll be great. And then No Dollaback Girl, and you can blame, let's see if, nope, that's not it. Is it over here? Really? Okay, fine. Okay. You can blame 24 Delta, because he said MRNY's parody would be Gwen Stefani, Ain't No Dollaback Girl. And I was like, that's hilarious, and we're going to do it. So I did it as close as I could with it being AI and not doing any sampling, and also hopefully not getting any copyright claims and all of that. So I actually had to redo the version that I liked because I had used a couple of lines in the song and I felt uncomfortable with that. I just don't want to get sued by the music industry for having fun with AI music. So I hope that you all like that, because it's kind of catchy and I've been listening to it a lot. So anyways, are you excited about LFGY? Are you going to go pretty hardcore in? Or are you going to just wait it out and figure out its track record? Is it going to be ulti where it never recovers the price? Is it going to be just anything that's Bitcoin's not going to, or crypto is not going to be steady Eddie, but is it going to be pretty consistently 70-80% distribution? And yeah, I will talk to you later. Bye.